Monsters coming down the hall, spires cover all the walls. Serial killer is on the line, wants to know if you have the time. Aliens are landing soon, this will mean certain doom. A chainsaw sputters and comes alive, blood and death are close behind. One thing you can be certain of, the zombies just can't get enough. Just one more bite is all they want. The ghosts downstairs are on the hunt. The Chronicles are keeping score, that's what all the writing's for. They record their stories one by one so you don't miss all the fun.
Welcome to Season 3 of the Shade Chronicles, a podcast featuring short works of sci-fi and horror fiction. Here are your hosts.
Hi, this is Derek Lefford.
Hi, this is Lawrence Trokey, and thank you for spending your time with us. Let's get started with our first story.
For KTVC, I'm Paige Turner, and we interrupt this program for a special news bulletin. We have been receiving reports from all over the St. Louis area of attacks on residents by individuals who appear to be undead. For more on this story, we go live to Ivana Notings on the scene in St. Louis County just outside police headquarters. Ivana?
Thanks, Paige. We are witness to a gruesome scene unfolding here at St. Louis County Police Headquarters. Apparently, the police are under siege by a large group of zombie-like individuals who are intent on invading the building and feasting on the living inside. Reports of the undead rising from the grave and wreaking havoc on the residents of St. Louis are coming into 911 call centers at an alarming rate. Judging by the scene here, the problem is growing exponentially and may overtake the area within hours. County officials are issuing a shelter-in-place order and recommend that if you are the owner of a firearm, that you arm it and keep it near as the threat level increases. Whoa, that was close. Back to you, Paige.
Thanks, Ivana. Stay low and keep safe. More reports are coming into the station from citizens around the area who are using their cell phones to send in video and audio reports about what is happening. We now go to a resident of the Arnold area who was dining at a Waffle House restaurant when he was confronted by a zombie horde invading the area. Sir, are you there?
Hell yes, I'm here, but it may not be for long. These gruesome fucks are all over me like Oprah on a baked ham. Oh, good shot, Bobby Ray. You gave that one a 30-06 lobotomy.
Sir, are you armed?
Hell yes, I'm armed. I'm from Missouri, ain't I? And by the way, call me Billy Joe. I ain't no sir. I work for a living.
Sure, Billy Joe. Can you tell us what is happening where you are?
Well, the shit's hit the fan and I'm downwind of it, that's for sure. These creepy, stiff-walking gals and dudes are crawling all over the place and jumping on anybody they see.
Why are they doing that? Can you tell?
It looks like someone rang Satan's dinner bell and these Jeepers Creepers came with an appetite. They biting and eating anyone in sight. Look out, Bobby Ray, you got one on your ass.
Billy Joe, is everything okay? Are you still there?
Yes, ma'am, I am, but I'm afraid not for long. One of those toothy bastards got me on the forearm like a mosquito from hell. I put him down with my trusty Walter PDP, but not before he tore off a chunk of my arm.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it looks like the other one got old Bobby Ray. It ate him up like a fat chick at a cheesecake factory. Well, I can feel the zombie voodoo starting to run through our bodies, so I guess I better sign off. I'll be damned if I'm gonna wander around creation like a toddler looking for his binky. So take care of yourself, ma'am. Time to make like a baby and head out of this bitch.
Oh my goodness. I believe we've lost contact with Billy Joe. Let's go now to Haywood Jatelmi, who is at the Paranormal Studies Department at Washington University with Dr. Yuri Kook, who is a preeminent authority in the supernatural. He wrote a groundbreaking book on the subject titled, I'm okay, you're okay, but what the hell was that? Haywood?
Thanks, Paige. Dr. Kook, you claim to have an explanation as to why the undead are resurrecting all over the area and feasting on the population. Please explain the situation.
It would be my pleasure. You see, there is a barrier between the living and the dead that is put in place by the universe to keep something like this very thing happening now from occurring. Just because something is dead, it does not mean it ceases to exist. There is still energy there. Just think of Einstein's brilliant equation of E equals mc squared. It states that matter and energy are basically interchangeable. However, it is in the transition from one state to another that a unique problem exists. There must also be a removal of this energy from one dimension to the next, otherwise a paradox is created which can lead to devastating effects like what we are seeing now.
Please continue, Doctor.
Well, of course. If the mass that is converted to energy when a living tissue dies is not removed to a parallel dimension, the energy can reanimate the dead tissue, causing a paradox. The universe has created a splendid method for the transmutation process. Some have described it as the tunnel of light that takes them to the other world. It is quite lovely, I understand.
Doctor, are you saying the energy or perhaps souls of these dead bodies found a way to reanimate them, and that's why there are a bunch of zombies everywhere?
Not exactly. The universe is very good at creating these barriers, so there shouldn't be a problem. However, there are examples in history of some individuals who have gained secret knowledge of the dark arts, as they are known, finding ways to breach this barrier in an attempt to gain all unimaginable power. They tried to become gods by breaking through this dimension to the beyond. Unfortunately, almost all have fallen victim to the immense forces they are trying to tap into, resulting in a very negative outcome.
Like a zombie apocalypse?
Precisely. Most likely it was the acquisition of a dark artifact created by one of these aforementioned necromancers that is at the heart of the problem. Someone must have uncovered one of the barrier-breaching devices and accidentally triggered its dark powers, unleashing the energy of the recent dead who were in the process of crossing over to the next dimension. When activated, the souls had no choice but to return to their previous physique, which created all sorts of paradoxes.
But why are they eating people, Doctor?
Well, I suppose the trip back made them quite hungry. They feed to replenish the energy their bodies are consuming, which is considerable. Otherwise, they might dissipate all of their energy completely and cease to exist. Life force energy is a very stubborn thing and will take extreme measures to continue to exist.
Fascinating.
It really is quite a humdinger.
Paige, it looks like the zombie horde is trying to enter the university grounds. We need to leave here as soon as possible, Doctor. But before we go, what can we do to stop this terrible calamity?
The artifact that has triggered this event must be found and destroyed. Then the barrier will close and the energy will return to the next dimension. That is the only answer to this problem.
Well, Paige, it looks like we've run out of time. Thank you, Dr. Kook, for your valuable insight into this situation.
My pleasure, truly.
Well, it appears the zombie outbreak continues. When we come back, we'll talk to a couple of residents from the area that may know how this all happened. Stay tuned.
For 2 seasons, the Shade Chronicles podcast has introduced you to a universe of the scary, strange, weird, and fascinating. Now all of the stories from the first 2 seasons of the podcast are collected and available in a hardback book for your reading enjoyment. Newly edited and revised, experience the fright and wonder again of the stories from the Shade Chronicles and join us on an exploration of imagination. Find your copy of Tales from the Shade Chronicles podcast on Amazon today, also available in paperback and Kindle versions.
This is a KTVC News special report. Here's Paige Turner.
We are back with our top story of the zombie outbreak that has swept across the St. Louis region. We are joined now by someone who claims to have some insight to how this all started. Joining us on the phone are Derek Leftridge and Lawrence Trokey, 2 residents of St. Louis, Missouri who normally spin yarns about fictitious ghosts and goblins, but now find themselves in the epicenter of a zombie apocalypse. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Be my pleasure.
Well, hello, Paige. I'm a big fan.
Take it easy, Romeo. Your wife is probably listening.
Oh, right.
So, Derek, you said you had a theory why this zombie invasion is happening here and now. Please explain.
More than that, I know exactly why this is happening.
You know, Paige, I followed your career for some time. I loved what you did when you were a beat reporter covering City Hall. Powerful and insightful reporting, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
You can't help yourself, can you? Look, the reason the zombies are here is because of my father.
That is shocking. Can you elaborate?
She means, can you explain?
I know what she means, you asshat. Yes, I can elaborate. You know, my father used to publish a horror zine called Teller's Tales. Back in the 80s, he would get fans sending in stories to publish, but he would also get gifts and other items, some of them very strange.
Dude, you remember that time he got the lamp that looked like a giant?
Hush. Anyway, I think one of the items he was sent is the reason for the zombie outbreak. It probably is one of those artifacts that Dr. Kook was talking about. We were going through some of my dad's things.
Mostly looking for something to drink.
When we found this old creepy-looking box, I opened it and found the artifact. Not long after I touched it, everything started going to shit.
How can you be sure it is the cause of everything?
Mostly because the thing is lit up like a Christmas tree right now.
What?
It is glowing like a kid's bicycle at Chernobyl.
Do you mean it is emitting light in some way?
It's sparkling like a stripper's pasties.
All right, I think I get it. I just received word that Dr. Kook and KTVC reporter Haywood Jatelmi have made it to the news station, and we will have them on the air with me in a moment.
I understand that you're communicating with someone who says they are in possession of an artifact like I described before?
Yes, Dr. Kook. We are on the line with Derek Leftridge and Lawrence Trokey, two local residents who say they are in possession of an artifact that matches the description of the one you told us about earlier.
Gentlemen, are you there?
What's up, Doc?
Take it easy, Bugs Bunny. Boy, I'm sweating like a fat kid in a donut shop.
Pull it together, dude.
What is wrong with you?
You know how anxious I get around zombies? So I had a little bourbon.
You mean you emptied my bottle of Buffalo Trace I had in the cabinet? You loser boozer.
Well...
Derek, Lawrence, now is not the time. Dr. Kook wants to know if you can send us an image of the artifact so he can confirm if it is the thing responsible for all of this.
Sure, 1 second.
Here's the photo he just texted to me, Doctor. Is it the dark artifact that is causing the zombie outbreak?
My God, I don't believe my eyes.
Dr. Kook?
Dear God in heaven, it is in fact the artifact. But where did you get it?
There is a receipt in the box it was sent in that is from a store called the Last Bazaar Antique Shop, if that helps.
It doesn't matter. You must destroy the artifact. It is the only way to stop the devastation that is happening.
Chainsaw? Gasoline? Run it over with a car?
No, it must be disintegrated for it to close the barrier between dimensions and release the energy embodying the undead.
So how do we do that? I'm fresh out of thingies that disintegrate other thingies.
You silver-tongued devil, you.
You must return with me to my lab. There is a powerful laser tool there used to break material down to its most elemental particles. It would be sufficient for such a task.
Ah, fuck.
Looks like it's a road trip then. I call shotgun.
Derek, this is Haywood Jatelmi. We have a GPS location from your phone. You are not far from here. I will bring Dr. Kook with me and pick you both up to take you to his lab.
Straight up, dude, because Uber is definitely offline right now.
We'll take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll join Haywood and Dr. Kook en route to Derek and Lawrence.
Attention, Shade Chronicle podcast listeners. The merchandise store is now open. You can find the merchandise store on the merchandise tab on the Shade Chronicles website, which is at theshadechronicles.com. Find premium t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, travel mugs, ball caps, and more at the Shade Chronicles podcast merchandise store. We now resume your regular programming.
This is a KTVC News special report.
St. Louis under siege.
Here's Paige Turner.
Okay, we are back in the second hour of the zombie outbreak. We are talking to KTVC News reporter Haywood Jatelmi, who is en route to Washington University to the lab of preeminent paranormal studies professor Dr. Yuri Kook. They have just picked up along the way two residents of St. Louis who are themselves somewhat familiar with the paranormal in that they host a podcast featuring short stories of science fiction and horror. With Haywood and Dr. Kook are Derek Leftridge and Lawrence Trokey. Haywood, can you give us an update on how the trip is going?
Well, Paige, it is not pretty. The undead are everywhere. They are attacking any living person they come across. Just a minute ago, we ran into one with our vehicle as he lunged at us from the top of an overpass.
It was a major faceplant on the hood. I'm not sure if that's going to buff out.
Police are trying to eliminate the zombie threat, but there are so many of them. They are getting overrun. We passed through a security roadblock just a few moments ago, but instead of police, there were only bodies. We got out of the car briefly to check on them, but they were all beyond help.
I got this really cool assault rifle, though.
Would you watch where you're pointing that thing? You're gonna give someone a new air hole if you're not careful.
No chance. See, I got the safety.
Give me that.
Sorry. By the way, you scream like a girl.
Paige, we are pulling up to Dr. Cook's building now. We'll try to stay on the line as long as we can, but we don't know what we'll encounter inside.
Be careful. If you are just joining us, KTVC reporter Haywood Jatelmi, Dr. Cook, and 2 locals, Derek and Lawrence, are entering Dr. Cook's lab at Washington University to destroy an ancient artifact believed to be the cause of the zombie outbreak. Haywood, can you tell us what is happening?
We are entering the lobby, which appears deserted. There must have been a struggle here because the furnishings have been disrupted and overturned in some cases. There are papers and trash everywhere. We are now heading down the corridor towards the lab. The power is out and we can only see to make our way from the emergency lighting.
This is just how I would have written a scene like this right before the heroes get attacked by zombies.
Read the room, Stephen King, and shut the hell up.
I'm just saying, and why do you get to carry the gun?
I swear to Christ, I'm gonna shoot you myself. Remember the car?
Oh yeah.
We are here. I will try to use the keypad to enter. With the power out, the electric locks will not disengage.
Well, we tried. What say we grab some waffles on the way home?
We have to destroy the artifact. It's our only hope. Waffles later.
Okay, so what's your plan, Obi-Wan?
Breaking the door down will cause too much noise, and we don't want that kind of attention. Doctor, there has to be another way.
We could go through the custodial entrance, which is downstairs, I suppose.
The stairway is right over there. I'll use my phone's flashlight app to light the way.
Smells pretty funky in here, like monkey ass or something worse.
Dr. Cook, how are we going to use the laser if the power's out?
The laser's power grid is independent of the main power grid. This was done to protect the integrity of any experiments that were being conducted from any power surges in the main line.
Paige, it looks like we reached the bottom floor, but it appears there are zombies roaming the halls.
Shit! I'm gonna die in a basement that smells like a toilet, and I forgot to turn off the coffee maker at home.
You just hold on to that artifact and don't lose it. We'll move slowly to keep from attracting their attention.
Christ! I stepped on one. It's squishy.
I got him.
Now run, Forrest, run!
The stairs to the lab are over there.
Paige, we are running for our lives now. We must reach the stairway to the doctor's lab or all is lost.
Oh my goodness. Haywood, are you there? We seemed to have lost the signal from our reporter on the scene, Haywood Jatelmi. When we come back, we'll try to reestablish our link and find out if they made it to the lab to destroy the ancient artifact responsible for the zombie outbreak.
For 2 seasons, the Shade Chronicles podcast has introduced you to a universe of the scary, strange, weird, and fascinating. Now all of the stories from the first 2 seasons of the podcast are collected and available in a hardback book for your reading enjoyment. Newly edited and revised, experience the fright and wonder again of the stories from the Shade Chronicles and join us on an exploration of imagination. Find your copy of Tales from the Shade Chronicles podcast on Amazon today, also available in paperback and Kindle versions.
This is a KTVC News special report.
St. Louis under siege.
Here's Paige Turner.
We are continuing our special coverage of the zombie outbreak in St. Louis. It appears we have reestablished communications with our reporter on the scene, Haywood Jatelmi. Haywood, can you tell us what's happening now?
Paige, we made it to the stairwell and barricaded the door. Now we have climbed the stairs and are at the custodial entrance to Dr. Cook's lab.
Lawrence, place the artifact in the center of the large platform just past the laser's housing.
Roger that, Doc.
Now I will power up the laser while we wait for it to reach optimal power levels.
That's what she said.
Please put on these safety goggles and coveralls.
I mean, safety first. Ha 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 ha.
Indeed.
Paige, we are all donning protective gear while the laser is powering up. In moments, we should witness Dr. Cook use the laser to disintegrate the ancient artifact and hopefully end this nightmare.
Houston, we got a problem.
I know these coveralls are making me go from a rooster to a hen.
Nah, dude, these deadheads are beating on the door like we're in here with Jerry Garcia and a dime bag of Acapulco gold.
Right, okay. Dr. Kook, is the laser ready?
Yes, I am turning the dial now.
So? Doc, are we good?
Well, to be sure, we need to look past the barricade.
Not it.
Okay, I'll look.
Doc, I think it worked. I see a bunch of bodies and no one is moving.
Derek?
Sup, dude?
You might want to take a peek outside.
Paige, it appears Dr. Kook was successful in destroying the artifact with the university's laser, but there is a strange phenomenon happening outside. I'm moving to the window for a closer look.
Oh, I was afraid of this.
What the fuck is that? Aliens?
The destruction of the artifact might have caused a tear in between dimensions. The alien invaders are using it to come into our dimension.
Paige, we are looking outside where there is a large rip in the sky and several alien vessels are pouring through the hole and landing on the ground.
Well, that's it. We're boned.
What do you mean? I welcome our new alien overlords.
Well, it appears we have gone from the frying pan right into the...
This is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. Residents are ordered to shelter in place as a new threat emerges. Officials are moving resources to meet this new danger, so stay tuned.
Hello, everybody. We are back for Season 3 of the Shade Chronicles.
Yay!
And this is kind of awesome. It's very awesome, actually, because we have been trying to get contributors, and we did get contributors. We worked on it. It worked out very well, and we had a lot of great things that came our way. So happy, so great.
A lot of good stories.
Oh, God.
A lot of talented folks
Yeah.
who have joined us in this journey.
And very happy that they found us and they gave us a chance to, do what we want to do with their stories in the sense of the audio type of stuff. And,
Right.
And it's just great.
It's exciting.
Just great. It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's very fun. And we've kind of gone out with our stuff and we have a book now. And
we have a book!
We do have a book. April 1st,
Available
it
in
comes out.
hardback or paperback.
That's right.
And Kindle versions on Amazon Prime. Or, Amazon.com.
And it's great because all of our stories and then our artwork, and it's for everybody. They can read it, and it's going to be great for everybody, and re-edited to be better than what the podcast was.
There's new content.
There is new content. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's some stories that have been expanded.
Yeah.
Some that have been edited and sharpened up a little bit. And I think the end result is amazing.
Yes.
At least for us.
It is very much for us and for everybody that wants to get it. And it's something that we've been wanting to do for all of our lives. And it's a great thing that we have a book now, and very proud of it.
If you have a table that needs leveling, it's perfect for that. Just saying. If you need that, we got you covered.
If you have kids that need to learn how to read, we have a book that can level your table.
Yeah, they might not learn anything from our book.
No. No, it's great to be back. And just so we know, I'm sorry I did interrupt. You're fine.
So on Amazon right now, you can order a hardback, a paperback, or a Kindle version of Tales from the Shade Chronicles podcast, which features the first 2 seasons of stories that Derek and I have wrote for the podcast.
Yes.
And those have been edited, and there's artwork that's been assigned to those stories. So if you are a true fan and are excited
I'm a true fan.
about our efforts here, then visit Amazon and order your copy either in hardback, paperback, or Kindle.
Yes. And when you order a copy, the first 10 copies will give you pretty much a copy of the book. We're not going to give you anything more. But we are very happy that we do have a book out there, and it's great for us, and we hope that everybody else can enjoy it too.
Yes, exactly. I am so excited to have been a published author, although independently published through Amazon, but still a published author with my best friend, Derek Leffridge.
Well, I've always wanted to go to the Amazon with my best friend, Lawrence. I don't know if I ever told him that, but now we are now.
You mean like the river?
No, the jungle.
The jungle?
Yeah.
God
I wanted
damn.
to go to the jungle, Amazon jungle.
Unless you're talking about a strip club. I mean, I'm in for that, but not the river.
Is that here? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
I just I'm very happy to be part of this whole thing, and I'm glad that we reconnected and got this, and I'm so happy to have the third season starting again.
Absolutely. And we are back with balls to the walls on this one.
We're back with balls.
Yes. The story in this episode was called Please Stand By.
Love it.
Which was our take on the concept that Orson Welles established with War of the Worlds. If you know a little history there, Orson Welles, back in the 30s, put out a radio broadcast that was based on the H.G. Wells story, War of the Worlds.
We did radio, babes.
Yes. And he did a dramatized radio broadcast that made it seem like it was happening in real time. A lot of folks lost their shit about this. And he got in a little bit of trouble because of it, because they thought it was a real broadcast about the Martians invading Earth.
And ours sounds very realistic, by the way, too.
Oh, yes, of course. And so in homage to that style of storytelling, we created a story that replicated the real-time broadcast of events happening. And in this case, it was a zombie outbreak.
Yes, and I think I like it, too, that we wrote this, and we brought our humor into it.
Yes.
Us.
It was intended to be a total joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why April 1st. It's really good, but yeah, it's something that we talked about, we worked on, and I think Lawrence did a great job in the sense of the audio and everything that he did on that end. But, you know, it's from our brain and our humor and our silliness, and we hope everybody enjoys it.
And this is kind of a tag team off of the last project that we worked on together, which was the last episode of season 2, which was You Better Watch Out, a Christmas story featuring Santa Claus and a couple other characters that were intended to be comical, but yet still fall within a sci-fi horror genre.
Yeah.
And this one certainly fills the bill because we're talking about zombies running wild in the place that we live, which is the St. Louis area. Mm-hmm. And we just had a little fun with it. So hopefully you enjoyed that effort that we put together on that. Our acting skills may need a little a little assistance there.
A little.
But I think we did a decent job.
No, I think we did a great job.
It was fun.
I think it was a great job. And I think we did very well. And I think it was very fun. And I hope everybody enjoys it and, you know, listen up.
Yeah, right, for sure. So we also took advantage of some of the tools available to us with AI, in that some of the other actors in the performance were AI-generated performances.
Great job.
And maybe you noticed that. Some of them might seem a little stiff, but I think overall we got the point across for what we were trying to accomplish, and it had a lot of fun doing it. It was really a joy to put that episode together, even though it took a long time.
Yeah, you did a lot of good work, man. And
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
it was a very good ending product, and I really like how the different characters sound the way they sound, and I love the names.
Absolutely. And, of course, all puns, right? Because
Oh, God. It's so funny.
You know, Hey, Would You Tell Me? And
Yeah.
Paige Turner
Yeah.
and all of these names that
Dr.
were...
Kook.
Dr. Kook. Right.
Derek Leffridge. Oh, wait, that's my real name. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, now, couldn't do anything with that. But Yuri Kook, you know, those names, that kind of thing, all intended to be tongue-in-cheek and just having a good time with it. So I hope you enjoyed it. there's really not a lot to talk about as far as that goes. So we'll just turn it over to what we're coming up on next, which is episode 2 of season 3, which would be the first episode in the Shade Chronicles that features work from other contributors,
which is a great thing that we experienced this year.
Oh, absolutely.
In the sense of getting all these great stories, and you're going to hear a lot of them this season and going forward, because we love writing, we love reading, but the thing is that there's other people out there that have great stories, and the commentaries that we're going to have with either interviewing or just having information from the other authors is going to be a great thing for everybody to hear and listen to, and it's going to be great because it's just so amazing to have people that want to contribute to what we're doing as our dream, as our kind of thing we want to do, and we just love having them all here.
And the thing that I'm really impressed with is that we have contributors not just from our city, our country, whatever. We have contributors all over the world. People who are just as excited about writing stories as we are, and who are probably at the same level of professionalism and being able to get their information out there. They're working hard. They're writing every day. They're contributing. They're submitting stories, that kind of thing. And some of them are finding some success with some of the stories that they're contributing. We're just another vehicle, another venue for them to let their creativity be exposed to a new audience.
Yes, we are global, and we know we are global, and we're very happy about that. We're very excited about that. And our basic thing wasn't to necessarily be global. We wanted people to bring in to us their stories, their creations, and be able to give them a voice and at least give them another avenue to go out there. I'm sure a lot of these have had other avenues that they've gone to be published and or things like that, but we gave them our twist on it, and we will give them our attention and our comments. And by the way, all of them have been great.
Absolutely. I mean, we have gotten tremendous response to our call for contributions, and the samples that we have received, the content that we have been given is perfect for the style of podcast that we're doing.
It's amazing.
And you will be the benefactors of listening to our audio productions of those stories in the next few weeks as you start to listen to all the stories that we've been given generously from these contributors, and we hope you enjoy those as well. And as we wrap up this episode, we'll go ahead and take a sneak peek at what's coming up in episode 2, which is right now.
Enjoy.
Next time on The Shade Chronicles.
Beyond the broken pavement, where the solitary telephone pole reached skyward like a finger pleading to the heavens, a small shrine had been laid out at the foot of a high concrete block wall. On it stood a few burnt-out candles and dead flowers and a solitary teddy bear. Around it, the dry brown grass seemed sterile and poisoned. An old man, his face emaciated, with sunken cheeks and unkempt beard, had been drawn to the 2 coins on the small shrine. The shrine seemed to speak only of sadness, of reflection and supplication. Perhaps the soul, for whomever this shrine had been made, would be able to find peace to make that final journey. For a moment he was distracted by indistinct memories, and only obliquely observed the young girl as she came to stand in front of the shrine. As long as she remained in front of the shrine, the soul he was expecting, that he had been paid to take across, would not appear.
Walking into Starbucks, Catherine spotted Ted sitting alone by the window. He seemed preoccupied and did not look up even when she pulled a chair closer to join him. Looking out the window, he tapped his cardboard cup, lost in thought. He shook his head with a bewildered sigh. "What is it? You feel okay?" "I'm fine. Well, not really. Something strange happened today. Eerie." He paused, twisting his cup left and right on the table before looking up. "I saw myself today." "Saw yourself?" "Yes, I saw myself, watched myself. But not me now. Me 50 years ago. So I picked up my phone to take a picture. Just then, the kid turned to face me. And just as I snapped the picture, he was gone. Nothing. He was gone. The car was gone. Just like that.
Thanks again for listening to the Shade Chronicles. For comments or inquiries, you can contact us at shadechron@gmail.com. That's SHADECHRON@gmail.com. Visit us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also get more information at theshadechronicles.com. The Shade Chronicles podcast is the creative property of Derek Leffridge and Lawrence Trokey. Any attempt to replay for broadcast or distribution portions of any episode of the Shade Chronicles without the prior written consent from the creators and/or significant compensation is strictly prohibited. Shame on you for even thinking about it in the first place. Thanks again for listening. Tune in next time for another episode of the Shade Chronicles.